Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. We haven't played in a while, both on stream and not, but we decided we were gonna see if we can fit it into our schedule and knock out the remaining stuff we haven't done in this patch, or in this. Well, yeah, I guess it's a patch, but in this expansion before Dawn Trail comes out in a few months. So let's. I think we've decided we're going to be doing Hildebrand first. So let's dive on in. All right, we are live. And we need to go to Razatan. Just checking, make sure that Delian is standing here for everybody, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Delian is ready to embark on his latest investigation. And from that screenshot, Hildebrand's already into something. Ah, you're just in time to assist with my latest fact-finding expedition. Our recent foray into Charlian revealed that Poo-Poo's friend was in the company of a Hannish alchemist, yes? As such, I was inspired to do some preliminary legwork here in Thavnair. I contacted my usual sources for local sightings of alien phenomenon, but alas, they had none to share. I have thus switched tactics and decided to track down this alchemist fellow instead. Surely someone will have heard the tale of an apothecary bold enough to set up shop on a Garlean battlefield. The inspector and the others have been pursuing a similar line of inquiry, yet have found no leads here in the city of or at the Great Work. I believe they've moved their investigation to Yedlamad, so I suggest we hurry over to join them. I cannot have that little blue man muddying the waters when we're so close to grasping his master plan. Of course, everybody remember to keep an eye out for the stalker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have been. Did my preliminary run around.
All right, we have. Let's see, where would he be? Oh, well, he's kind of obvious this time.
Look back.
I see the two of you are eager as ever to observe my inspectorial genius at work. Ah, the long-term fans are often the most ardent. As a matter of fact, we are just about to continue our investigation into the alchemist we know to have been traveling with Master Pew Pew's comrade. I mean to say, that is to say, I am merely following the inspector's wake. You needn't be so modest, my dear Inspector Brandehild. It's wrong of me to comport myself as an equal to you to you all in any respect, for I am but a copy, and a flawed one at that. Stuff and nonsense. Clone or not, self-deprecation is unbecoming in a Manderville man. Exactly. The things you can do are amazing. Oh, I don't know about that. It was you who saved the Warrior of Light from certain doom, was it not? Well, not quite as alacritious? I actually don't know that word. As mine, your rapid reasoning is nevertheless quite effective. It's kind of you to accept me, rough edges and all. I only hope my meager contributions are of some small assistance. Too modest by half. I'd say his mental faculties far surpass those of the original. That's enough chin-wagging amongst ourselves, I think. Let us spread out and learn what the locals know of this adventurous apothecary. Yes, I know the one of whom you speak. A fellow fisherman told me of a friend of his, an apothecary, who set off for war-torn Garlemald to sell his medicines. A reckless fool, if you ask me. I've no interest in the affairs of such men. But you do, I take it? If so, I suggest you head to Usakek and hear the tale yourself. Look for a red-haired lad that's there gathering shellfish. Do I know any apothecaries? In Razat Han? Of course. More than I could count. I've not heard tell of anyone peddling such goods in the heart of the Empire, though. Seems like a terrible idea to me. What with the Civil War raging and the world almost ending, situation's improved in recent days. But even so, the Radiant Host still has to provide security for cargo shipments. A lone merchant trading there alone? Impossible.
We found him, right?
Hmm?
The little hiding guy, stalker.
I haven't seen Nashu again yet.
He's over here. The stalker is.
Ah. Where'd Kate
By
go?
what's his name?
Oh, she is over there, so
Ah.
yeah.
I ran right past her and
I'm
didn't
not
see
sure.
her.
Yeah, I'm not sure right here. He's got the same costume he had last time.
I love the two sticks he holds.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Inside.
I'm just checking to see if the NPC had anything interesting to say. They did not. Nashu is falling asleep again.
Of course. Oh, here it is.
I know of many merchants who travel abroad to ply their wares, but none who have any business in Garlemald. You'd have to be mad or desperate indeed to consider setting up shop in that troubled land. I mean, word is we've signed some kind of trade agreement with the Garleans, but it's still not the kind of place where one simply wanders in and opens a street stall.
Why not?
I would say the cold and the roving bands of errant mechs would be at least part of it.
A little bit, I think.
This is the wrong quest.
Yeah. Oh. We gotta go find where they're at. Over here that turns in. Maybe. Yeah.
Ah, I hope your questioning has borne fresher fruit than mine. Oh, good friend of the alchemist in question, you say? Then let us gather the troops and pay a visit to this felicitous fisherman. Just show the little stalker running on and hiding.
Mm-hmm.
The story of my apothecary friend? Oh, you must have been, Baharas. Baharasov. Well, I was near enough to calling it a day anyway. So here's what I can tell you. Maharasov comes from a very poor family, and growing up never had much in the way of money or possessions. I suppose those experiences are what led to his lifelong obsession with gaining wealth. After trying his hand at a succession of trades, he decided alchemy would earn him the most gil, but his stock never sold as well as he hoped. So when he heard about the internal strife in Garlemald, he saw it as a golden opportunity. Surely the middle of a war was the best place to sell medicines. Eh, more like the best place for near-death experiences. He soon gave up on his Garlemald adventure. But while one would have expected him to return, lamenting his ill fortunes, Maharasov was practically euphoric when I saw him again. A God's given blessing he found in the snowfields had given him. Much cause to celebrate. He said he'd learned how to create gold. I must admit I laughed at first. But then he showed me a gleaming mountain of the stuff, enough to proclaim himself a merchant prince. He even changed his name to Vahundi, a word which brings to mind the bounty of the divine. A name I have heard. He's the rising star in the markets, is he not? The one snapping up commercial ventures left and right? Yes. Von Hoodie has certainly made his ambitions known here in Thavnir, especially when he attempted to purchase the entire port of Yedlamon. The dockmasters declined to sell, of course, but when it comes to buying historic landmarks, a bottomless purse can open surprising doors. Last I heard, he converted the Gildar Aria into a private abode, and has been filling it with every rare treasure his gold can secure. He pays out particularly large sums for artwork depicting the goddess Asura. I remember him being a fervent worshipper of hers, even as a child. I've encountered much Manusa and Merga lore in Razathan, yet I recall no mention of this Asura. Well, that's hardly surprising. As a deity of war, she is not well loved by the common folk. Baharasov is different, though. He sees life as a constant battle to amass wealth, and it is to Asura whom he prays for victory. Damn me if she didn't listen. That once poor boy became merchant royalty, a man far too rich and important now to afford more than a fleeting moment for a simple fisherman, even those who were once dear friends. If you'll excuse me, I really must leave it at that. These clams won't sell themselves, you know. How about that? Our sought-after apothecary and that upstart merchant prince were one and the same. Might we assume the blessing he stumbled upon in Garlemald was a certain alien craft and its occupant? Sorry to intrude, but aren't you the hero who helped us when folk were turning into beasts? Well, some nasty-looking creature just showed up outside of town. One of our guards went to confront it, but I don't like her odds against that thing. This sounds like the case for Inspector Hildebrand. Come, friends, let us investigate forthwith.
You all go in front of me.
Haven't we ripped your head off several times?
I know.
Yeah.
I thought you destroyed that monster. I have the situation under control, citizens. This individual bears a strong resemblance to a known fugitive, so I thought it prudent to investigate. Regrettably, he has proven less than forthcoming with answers. How many times must we teach you the same lesson, shiny skull man? Lesson? What are you on about? Bah! Cease this babbling and get out of my way. Lord Von Hoody's orders are to cause more trouble at the port, and I'm running behind schedule. Von Hoody? The merchant who tried to buy Yedlamad? So he put you up to this? Curses! How did you manage to deduce my dastardly plan? You blurted it out. Silence! No one who learns of our scheme can be suffered to live. Prepare to be squashed, meddlesome worms. Ah, there are many of them now.
Daddy to the rescue.
3 more sinister skull men. Was the doctor a quadruplet? Mother? Vexatious vermin. This will soften you up. Bah! A lucky hit. One last pitch. that was my fastball! I come to expect father's sudden appearances, but what brings you here, mother? Proposition from that merchant Vahundi. As a matter of fact, I'm accompanying your dad as a manager of Manderville and Manderville, and we were just on our way to the bloke's mansion. I've already refused Master Vahundi once before he tried to buy out our commercial empire. This time, however, the deal concerns offloading a quantity of gold at wholesale prices. It's quite an attractive offer considering fine jewelry is our stock in trade, and we thought to at least listen to his proposal. But if he would purposefully command his lackeys to disturb the peace of a public port, we can't do business with a thug like that. Absolutely not. Where did all these lackeys come from in the first place? Is there a hulking, weaponized brute manufactory around here somewhere? As I suspected, my ship's vaporization beam is configured to expunge only replicated matter. So you can copy inorganic materials as well. How interesting. Once the matter duplication facility has analyzed an object's molecular structure, it can generate any number of copies. Yet it cannot create matter from nothing. A requisite supply of ether must be on hand to facilitate the process. Or, you sure do know a lot about a lot, Inspector Brandehild. Even alien starships. It's no great achievement. As I mentioned, the gaps in my knowledge were patched with data from the starship's own archives, which included the vessel's full schematics and functions. Assuming I understand this correctly, is it possible Van Hoody is using the repaired alien craft to replicate piles and piles of gold? We share the same suspicion, Master Delian. To my knowledge, no other method exists that can reliably produce precious metals. Of course, 'tis the obvious conclusion. That being the case, one might further assume that Van Hoody is either threatening or deceiving Master Pew Pew's comrade in order to gain access to the vessel's superior technology. Of course, our course of action is clear. We march right up to the gold spawner's front door and demand the release of his extraterrestrial hostage. Delian says, the inspector's mother is as monstrously strong as the Manderville men, except that doesn't make any sense. I also loved that when Hildebrand caught the bomb, Nashu just stood there until it started beeping. And then she just turned around and walked away.
I noticed that too. Oh my gosh.
We must confront this malicious merchant at once. If your heart's set on confrontation, then you may as well come with us. Van Hoody's invitation included a private airship flight to his new estate. Aye, We still need to formally reject his deal anyways, and his pilot will be waiting. A mystery box. Godbert is ready to lead you to Van Hoody's waiting pilot. Shall we be on our way? We're to meet Van Hoody's pilot atop the rise just south of Kadja's footsteps.
Still cracks me up how we sit and each sit in here.
Yeah.
Zora's bored because she can't see where we're going. Only where we've been.
Exactly.
Lord Godbert, Lady Julianne, and entourage? Pray excuse our presumptuousness. My son and his companions insisted they come along, desperate as they were to meet with the illustrious Master Van Hoody. Pilot recognizes Warrior of Light. I see. One moment, if you please.
You would think he would be a little more concerned about the alien.
You'd think. But I mean, you see Lalafells all over the place, so... I mean, are they really that different?
No, that's true.
Lord Van Hoody should be glad to welcome you all into his home. Pray step aboard, and I shall take you there directly. Where I suspect the pilot will drop us off and then run. Welcome, honored guests, to my humble abode. I trust the view is to your liking. Since you traveled all the way here from distant Ul'dah, a pleasant backdrop to our talks was the least I could provide. And what an unexpected boon this is! I had been debating when to extend you a personal invitation. But now here you are, like a wish come true. Save your act for the magistrates, Van Hoody. We know the secret of your ill-gotten gold. You will cease this exploitation of alien technology and release your hostage into the care of Master Poo-Poo at once. Unraveled all my schemes, have you? Good. I needn't waste my breath on tedious explanations, then. Master Pew-Pew, I presume? I do have his fellow alien here with me, yes. As for exploiting their technology, I freely admit duplicating a quite frankly obscene amount of gold. But that was merely the beginning. Imagine making copy after copy of the deadliest weapons in existence. Would not the world itself be yours for the taking? Let's get straight to the point. I want you at my side. With the vaunted Warrior of Light as the template for my clone army, we could conquer this and every other land in creation. I'm gonna go with option 1, but
Mm-hmm.
I refuse, categorically and emphatically. A pity, yet I anticipated you would prove an impediment to my ascension. Yes, it seems the time has come to test Luge's ritual of manifestation. All was prepared long in advance of your coming. This tower holds not only mundane treasures, but also caches of crystals. As for the requisite congregation of worshippers, well, I had but to clone myself, after all. Who is more devoted to my cause and my goddess than me? Divine Ashura, take up thy blades and wage war upon mine earthly rival. Nay, Hildebrand, against a primal, we may be more hindrance than help. We dare not remain within its sphere of influence. Best of luck, my friend. I must make a gentlemanly withdrawal.
Okay, so I told him, hey, that's not such a bad idea after all. And then, what's his name? Branderball or whatever. He stares at me and he's like, ha ha ha, good jest. And then he looks back like that was a jest, right? And then he says a bunch of other words I don't understand. And then it cuts right back into what you read.
Gotcha. And yes, once again, we have a villain who has decided that he needs to do something with the Primal Slayer. And his idea of how to slay the Primal Slayer is to summon another Primal.
Primal. Yeah.
Will they never learn?
Eventually they're going to run out. So, at least I hope they will. Oh, I was wrong, KJ. You can get tomes of causality from this.
What do I? Oh, there we go. Okay. Commit.
Wow, that did not take long at all.
Cool.
What's that?
The Q.
Oh. Well, other people are probably going after it too. It's fairly new out, isn't it?
It came out
No.
like 2 or 3 months ago.
Ah, yeah. See.
Maybe it's more active because of the announcement of the Dawn Trail.
Maybe.
I am Asura, and on battle I thrive. Have you the courage and strength to face me? Will you dodge, or will you bleed? The
Where do we need to
frail
go?
shall fall.
Go find these guys. No, that's a tank. Come right behind here.
You've not time to blink.
We know. It's a big old
Damn it.
map there. That was fast.
Tremble before the might of the minutiae. Come forth, embodiment of carnage. Revel on the bloody field of war. The spirit of battle awakens. Sharp is the lesson. The weak shall perish.
Where's my speed run? Damn it.
I'm down.
Hear the gleaming edge.
I got you.
I got her. Oh my gosh.
Unmerciful light shine upon you. Behold the six-fold blade.
Yeah, the margin of error is small.
I am Asura, and on battle I thrive. Have you the courage and strength to face me?
Oh, that was just the thing, isn't it?
Will you dodge, or will you bleed?
I would just like it noted that the safe spot is smaller than my model, so I'm not even sure if I can stand in it.
And,
Yeah.
well, I had a heel and a toe stuck in it, so.
You've not time to blink.
Where? Get up on this edge.
The first time we did this fight, I didn't even notice the golden images there.
The minutiae. Come forth, embodiment of carnage.
Get behind her.
Revel on the bloody field of war.
Or, well, over here, I should say.
The spirit of battle awakens. Sharp is the lesson.
The first big one, I think, has its safe zone on this side.
The weak shall perish.
Now get to the other side.
Hear the gleaming edge.
Back up.
The next one will be on the sides of the arena.
Unmerciful light shine upon you.
Move. Okay, I don't know what happens after this.
Behold the six-fold blade.
Alright, it's gonna go around the arena, it looks like.
Oh. The hell? Nope, dead.
I didn't move enough, so.
Fury be my strength. I will scatter your bones.
Oh, I guess I should just die.
I am Asura, and on battle I thrive. Have you the courage and strength to face me? Will you dodge, or will you bleed? The frail shall fall. You've not time to blink.
Ah, yeah.
Tremble before the might of the minutiae. Come forth, embodiment of carnage.
Did you get it?
Revel
Yeah.
on the bloody field of war. The spirit of battle awakens. Sharp is the lesson. The weak shall perish. Hear the gleaming
We're
edge.
getting close. Can we...
Unmerciful light shine upon
Into the
you.
edges.
Behold the six-fold blade.
Get to that half screen. Keep running. Back to the Lord.
You'll want to stay close to the center, I think, to make it easier to
Yeah.
cover the ground.
Rat.
Fury be my strength.
And it doesn't go in an even depth
No.
around.
I will scatter your bones.
The Reaper hasn't noticed that the tanks are dead.
Oh, yeah.
The other tank dropped, and one of the other healers dropped. So we get to wait. That's why the queue was so short. We joined one in progress.
Somebody else just jumped.
Yep. We have another summoner now.
I am Asura, and on battle I thrive. Have you the courage and strength to face me? Will you dodge, or will you bleed? The frail shall fall. You've not time to blink.
Over here.
Tremble before the might of the minutiae.
Alright, son.
Come forth, embodiment of carnage. Rebel on the bloody field of war. The spirit of battle awakens. Sharp is the lesson.
Didn't know she moved.
The weak shall perish. Hear the gleaming edge.
Jumping helped.
Don't help.
I missed it. I missed it. Not fast enough. That is a big chunk.
Unmerciful light shine upon you.
Saves out of this.
Behold the six-fold blade.
When she's casting that blue stuff on the ground, is it actually causing damage, or is it telling us
No,
which way?
it's telling you where it's going to be.
Okay. And then of the other blue and the other blue and the other blue, and then it starts doing the red stuff, right? That freaking constant.
Show me your steel.
Oh, that's interesting. It's almost pretty. It's not annoying. It's like steps.
I need to get somebody up.
I have 5 seconds on my Insta.
Got him.
Hear the gleaming edge.
Getting close.
Probably need to get back here with me.
Show me your steel.
Assuming it does the same pattern, which I don't know. I don't know what pattern it's doing.
Do it.
Sharp is the lesson.
Probably need to be over here.
Unmerciful light shine upon you.
Get to the edges.
Behold the sixfold blade.
The first three repeat.
It's fine.
Both healers, well, never mind. The second healer just went
The
down.
face of battle is ever changing. Joyful is your downfall.
Getting red.
Oh, okay, that makes sense on those two. Okay.
I will scatter your bones. Will you dodge or will you bleed? You've not time to blink.
Over here with me.
Show me your steel. The frail shall fall. The spirit of battle awakens.
Go for it. Go for
Sharp is the lesson.
it. I'm stuck. I can't get out of there. Yeah.
Show me your steel.
Thank you.
Unmerciful light shine upon you.
Get to the edges.
Hear the gleaming edge.
Get in close. Oh, get on there. I don't get that in me.
Down. Sorry.
That's alright, we all ran the wrong direction there.
Behold the six-fold blade.
I died again.
Yeah, me too.
Did good on that one at all. I don't do good at all.
The face of
I'm
battle
struggling to
is
remember the pattern for
ever-changing.
some dumb reason.
Yeah. If I'm not in that certain
Glory
spot, I
be
can't.
my
It's like I don't
strength.
remember it.
Red. Why'd I say standard
will
red? I'm
scatter your
stupid.
bones.
Alright, goes left.
I wondered. I'm like, because it usually came up. I thought last time when it showed the screen, it said this is you know, this
Will you
is my
dodge
your
or will
weakness.
you bleed?
And then, but I heard something is your strength. So I was wondering if she was saying it in a weird sort of way. So
I was too close to dead. I didn't survive that circle. I assume when we get the pink circle, we just get away from everybody.
Yeah. Or let everybody else get away from you.
Yeah.
You've not time to blink.
I don't know what that one is.
Show me your steel.
Ooh. Oh, crappy.
The frail shall fall. The spirit of battle awakens. Unmerciful light shine upon you.
Get to the edges.
Show me your steel.
Oh, I did not make that.
That
You're
was
the wrong
not,
way.
that was not the edge I was expecting.
Sharp is the lesson.
Over here.
Yeah. I didn't make it. No.
Hear the gleaming edge.
Over here.
Behold the six-fold blade.
Oh, wait. Okay, so we're going from... That's too close on the edge. Damn it! Where we at? 4%. The tanks might be able to get it, and there's one DPS still.
The face of
I'm
battle
raised.
is ever-changing. Joyful is your downfall.
And so blue's the
Stand
weak,
in red.
right?
Stand in red.
Okay. Is everybody?
I will scatter your bones. Will you dodge or will you bleed?
then.
Yeah.
Did we get it now? Yes.
Yep.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Merry step dance, huh?
Good show. Would seem you thoroughly trounced that pesky primal. And even as we speak, Mother and Father should be informing the Radiant host of the despicable Van Hoody's wrongdoings. The divine Ashura defeated? Turn the wheel. We flee now. Who is flying the starship without my permission? That treasure is mine and mine alone. Called your vessel, Master Pew Pew? No, I did not. It's my friend's ship.
Oh, they're gonna fall.
At last! The moment of sweet reunion is at hand. I'm so relieved to see you safe. Likewise, my friend. But why did you open fire on the airship? Didn't that man help you after your crash? He did, at first. He pulled me from the wreckage and saw to it that my vessel was repaired. So in return, I replicated whatever trinket he desired, and taught him the basics of starship technology. But that resolved to be a terrible error in judgment. When I was infected by one of this star's unique pathogens, he took advantage of my weakened state. He seized my ship, flew me out to the jungle, and left me there to die. Slowly, agonizingly, I was able to synthesize a cure for my affliction, and then I came back to reclaim my property. This experience has led me to conclude that the dominant sentient life forms here are dull-witted, cruel, and entirely unsuited for peaceful cohabitation. We must launch a full-scale invasion. It is the only way to guarantee our survival. No, they are not all like that. These ones have been nothing but kind to me. Oh yes, they're all smiles until they laser you in the back. You have to strike first before they show their true colors.
Where's Mama's frying pan?
The ship's reactor has been breached. If it explodes, everyone in the vicinity will be atomized. And we're all in the vicinity. Think. Damn it, think. If I'm to stop the explosion, I need to traverse the considerable distance to the starship, but I can conceive of no logical solution. We don't need logic here, Brandahild. Inspector Brandahild, you must employ my father's mighty moves to propel me to the vessel. I too have calculated that Lord Godbert's signature techniques are our only means of achieving a sufficient propulsion, yet there is a flaw in your proposal. I lack the strength to properly perform the throw, and I have no time to teach you the starship's controls. Inspector Hildebrand, it is you who must fling me. Skyward, as only a Manderville can. He threw him the wrong way. Yes, he did. I lost my grip. Given my trajectory and velocity, the correct shift in posture should generate enough lift and precessional movement to... Yes, I can still make it. It is too late. The reactor is going critical. There's only one way to save the day. Inspector Brandahild! Our brief time together was more than any detective clone could ask for. Be well, my friends. Is this case closed for Inspector Brandahild? Nay, my loyal assistant. As a chip off the old gentleman, our dear Brandahild has surely survived to tell the tale. We shall see him again. Mark my words. You rescued me. even though I tried to incinerate you with high-intensity plasma blasts. Even at the cost of one of your own. If only I could make amends and earn your forgiveness, but alas. There is naught to forgive. With his blocky constitution, Inspector Brandehild will be just fine, I assure you. As a friend of Master Pew Pew, you are a friend of ours. And what are a few minor plasma burns among friends, eh? Our home planet. It was lost to a phenomenon you call the final days. We survived only because we were away exploring the cosmos at the time. Our explorations, which had heretofore served no purpose but curiosity, shifted to a search for safe haven. We visited countless stars, but all had succumbed to the same insidious ruin as our own. Growing desperate, we decided to settle on any suitable refuge we could find, whether it was populated or not. If the native beings were hospitable, we would live peacefully alongside them. If not, then we were prepared to claim a new home by force. So it was that I arrived at your miraculous planet. Lulled by the apparent absence of metaphysical chaos, I blundered into a mundane war zone, where I was promptly shot out of the sky. The rest you already know. Having fallen from behind during our search, I hurried here when my communications received no answer. That was when I met you, Inspector Hildebrand. Those touched by the despair of the final days are reduced to beasts. Given our savage willingness to invade your star, it would seem that in a sense we fell prey to that despair after all. Fortunately, my encounter with you, generous people, brought me to my senses, an outcome for which I am profoundly grateful. That said, there is nowhere else for us to go. Would it be too much to ask for us to live here, on your star? Well, of course, you must stay. And I suspect you'll be wishing to repair your damaged vessel. Don't touch the ship, Hildebrand. Mummy! Evening, Kyle. Oh, Inspector, not again! Wait for me! Oh, never a dull moment around our Hildebrand. At least we needn't worry if the ship crashes. Not with the impervious Mandervillian upon board. Ah, funny you should mention that. Upon reviewing the Manderville family tree, 'twas made clear that a lord without heirs of his own passed the name to an adopted child several generations ago. Are you saying that you and your son are not direct descendants of Godbrand, the alien progenitor of the Manderville line? Then how do you explain your unnatural sturdiness? When it comes to building strength and perfecting gentlemanly technique, 'tis not one's lineage which matters, but rather the unbending conviction within one's heart. Though Godbrand's bloodline be broken, House Manderville shall live on through us. If the begoggled boy can't swallow that explanation, I've also heard talk of some unseen power driven by feelings and emotions. Could be that you and Hildy have tapped into that cosmic essence. Oh, if that's the case, then you must be positively swimming in it, my dear. Every thing appears to be under control here, so let us return to the city, shall we? They put a lot of effort into into those sweat droplets. And once more do I find myself hurtling at superlative speed towards an unknown destination. Another day, another thrilling case for Hildebrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire. Well, we have been working on this series bits and pieces for several years now. Thanks to an enlightening conversation with Master Pew Pew on the way back, I believe I have answers required to process with our weaponsmithing project. I trust the endeavor yet holds your interest. Pray inform Master Geralt of the willingness to assist, and my hammer and I shall make all haste to the High Crucible. And with that, I bid you good day. Thank you all for looking out for our beloved son. I'm sure him and that blocky lad will be back for more cases before you know it. You've gone above and beyond for us, so I'd like you to have the one replicated starship we made. It doesn't have the duplication facility or other such technology on board, but it will carry you through the skies. Use this key to call it whenever you wish.
Oh.
As for the two of us, we've decided to get to know our new home better by embarking on a journey of exploration. And so this is where we must say our farewells. Thank you for everything. We are fortunate indeed to have met you. Seems Pew Pew wasn't planning an invasion after all. He even tried to stop his friend from launching an attack. I'm calling an end to this investigation. Your unfailing support during this entire ordeal has been most appreciated. Thanks to you, I was able to observe the inner workings of Charlian, and even traveled to the surface of the moon in search of truth. And when my own conspiracies threatened to blind me, you were there to open my eyes to the true shape of things. But this world yet harbors its share of the strange and inexplicable, not the least of which is the source of the Hildebrand's impossible physiology. If not an alien, then, mayhap he's a product of a hyper-advanced civilization from the distant past? The descendant of some gruesome biological experiment? Someone needs to plumb the depths of these unexplained phenomenon, and I am the very man for the job. Delian, you do not try to make sense of the Mandervilles. There lies madness. Little stalker training montage. Yeah, I was actually expecting that to be Hildebrand at the end, giving the stalker guy an in on Hildebrand's crew. But no, Brandahild lives. Alright. Tartaru or MSQ?
Arturu.
I'm fine with that.
I highly recommend it, Kyle. Its story is much more, I guess, linear than WoW's, but also that means they haven't been able to, completely drop entire X packs from the story like they have in WoW. I'm running the wrong direction. Of course, we're also doing late game side content right now, so this is basically, if you started playing FF14 tomorrow, you would probably have forgotten everything you saw before any of it even made sense. I have wonderful news. Thanks to your tireless deliveries, we are now overwhelmed with orders. Mistress Tartaru's plan was a success. That's another shipment sent. I don't think I've ever packed so many parcels in my life. Well, apparently we recognized him, but I don't. So, I'm going with, I don't believe we've met before, have we? Ah, my apologies. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Astad. Like so many Hanish refugees, I left my home in Palakistan and came to Charlian during the final days. You saved my life more than once. I've been working at Taru's boutique with Regina and Varsarud, albeit behind the scenes. It's rare that I have an occasion to visit the storefront. An unfortunate side effect of the constant demands on all of our staff, though I think we would all agree the hustle and bustle is for the best. Don't you wonder what we'll do once the samples have served their purpose? Our equipment is crafted to last, which is wonderful, of course, but also means that our customers are not like to require replacements for some time. Therefore, if we are not constantly receiving new customers, our good fortune will eventually sour, no? That doesn't really work with clothes, but yeah. Mr. Tartaru isn't so foolish as to have not anticipated such things. I'm sure she's already come up with a new and exciting products to offer our existing clients. Actually, I had an idea of my own for a new product I made. In fact, I presented it to Mr. Tartaru just the other day. A new uniform for the outfit to outfit the academics and researchers of Charlian. Oh, how enterprising. And what did she say? Well, she seemed hesitant, which I could only interpret as reluctance to hurt my feelings with explicit rejection. But then she told me to look into it further and draft a formal proposal for review. That's wonderful, Magina. When she said to look into it further, did she mean for you to conduct some manner of market survey of the academics and researchers? Just so. But, well, some are involved in such sensitive work that simply approaching them is out of the question. Which is to say, my petition to enter the Labyrinthos was denied. Instead, I decided to try the studium. Secretarial Mamet was only too happy to schedule a meeting with an academic representative. But now that it's come down to it, I'm feeling ill with the nerves. If it were on Mr. Tartaru's behalf, it would be different, but this was my initiative, my idea. I'd offer to accompany you, but I have to mind the counter. Perhaps you could offer Magina your support? Oh, thank you. Can I come as well? I'd like to start thinking of what supplies we'll need for our artisans once your plan is approved. Of course. Very well then. To the studium we go. I just realized that we're done with Hildebrand, so I don't need to be wearing this.
Same.
See, do I have one of Tartaru's outfits in my glamours? 2 of them, actually. I'll go with this one. Yeah, the transmog system in FF14 is, as the joke goes, it is the true end game of FF14. But I can't jump over bridges, or over chasms. Gravity defeats me again. This building might well be a temple for how austere it is. I'm glad I have your company. I was told that Ki Alapo would be meeting us here. I'm sure they will be along shortly. I had forgotten how yellow you are. Hello, representatives from Tartaru's boutique, I presume? Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Magina, and I am ever so obliged to you for making the time to speak with us. Ki Alapo at your services. At your service. And there's no need to stand on ceremony, I assure you. Most of our academics are far more concerned with their research than pleasantries. Admittedly, to their detriment at times. Anyway, how may I help you this evening? A uniform for our academics and researchers. I myself am ill-equipped to offer an authoritative opinion on the matter, so permit me to arrange some meetings with faculty representatives. Please make yourselves comfortable in the auditorium while I go and summon a few of our more personable personnel. I like his apron.
Yeah, it's nice.
Well, in the Faculty of Archaeology, we spend much of our time traipsing around ancient ruins, which often ends up ruining our clothes, if you'll pardon the pun. An outfit durable enough to handle extended use would be welcome, but it would need to be lightweight and breathable as well. Equatorial deserts can be most taxing. But then again, you'd be surprised just how many relics are hidden at the bottom of lakes. The northern waters can get quite chilly. As it stands, my colleagues and I throw on any old thing for our fieldwork. Whatever we have on hand that is suitable for the conditions, with the understanding that it may need to be disposed of afterwards. Funding for research equipment and the like is precious enough as it is, and we can't afford to have dozens of bespoke garments for every situation. Which is probably not what you were hoping to hear, I realize. No, thank you for your candor. It's true, new kit can be rather expensive. We must ensure our prices stay affordable. The ideal outfit for astronomers. How in the world am I to answer that? Know less than nothing about fashion. Oh, well, I suppose we astronomers often conduct our celestial observations from locales remote and subsequently chilly. Mountaintops and the like, so something warm? Warm is truly their only requirement, and I think it's safe to say this is the opposite of an untapped market niche. The Faculty of Medicine has strict requirements for dress on account of hygiene regulations. Fabrics that are resistant to stains and possess antibacterial properties are a must, for example. Additionally, we students of nutritional sciences must vigorously dart about the kitchen, so dressing for comfort is nearly as essential as cleanliness. And if it were fashionable enough to perhaps inspire others to follow in our footsteps, all the better. Ah, we require no such clothing in the Faculty of Anthropology, for we make all that we require right here. Rather, Professor Tankin prefers to do so, that he may better understand how necessity begets innovation. An outfit that ameliorates ether sickness, without a doubt. You'd think we at the Faculty of Etherology would have developed such an outfit by now, no? But alas, our primary projects demand every moment we possess. We cannot afford to divide our resources. Well, how did it go? I don't know, to be honest. Everyone has such different preferences that I'm not sure it's even possible to satisfy them all. A fair concern. The studium's facilities are filled with opinionated individuals, each with their own peculiarities. Additionally, our academics spend much of their time engaged in field work as opposed to seminars, which further complicates stipulations of dress. I'm going with option 1. In other words, we have our work cut out for us. Indeed, it was naive to assume that one type of uniform could account for the needs of all academics. We'd best return to the boutique. Thank you for your assistance, Mr. Salapo. And I truly thought I had a good idea. No doubt Mistress Tartaroon knew its folly, but had me research it regardless, so that I might reach the conclusion on my own. She meant well, I am sure. See how the hardships make you strong. Going with option 2. It's an important phrase to you, isn't it? Indeed it is. It comes from the teachings bestowed upon us by the old gods. Many Hanish held fast to those words and their wisdom during the final days, so as to not give in to despair. When we call upon the divinities, it is not to beg for salvation, but for guidance. So long as we live by their teachings, there is no hardship we cannot overcome. That is the core tenet of the Hanish faith, that has seen us through much adversity since the founding of our nation. It's as you say, Hastad. Until you did, it did not occur to me to consider how they might apply to my personal struggle. Coming to Charlian and working with Mistress Tartaru at the boutique, I've met so many peoples from all sorts of cultures. But in trying so hard to accommodate their wants and needs, I fear my own heritage has become an afterthought. There is no shame in dedicating yourself to your work. And as we all have our limits, compromise and sacrifice are inevitable. It may surprise you, but once I aspired to become a steward. To look back on it now, it feels fanciful. Strange that we so easily let our dreams be cast aside by circumstance. I swore nothing would stand between me and my chosen path, and yet here I am. I know the divinities will guide us wheresoever we go, but what if we stray too far? Would I be a fool to suggest that perhaps we should return to Thavnair? But Mrs. Tartaru has done so much for us. We cannot simply leave the boutique on a moment's notice. Maybe not. But what of our family and friends? It is one thing for us to send money and well wishes, but I wonder if we could not do more if we were there, helping to rebuild. We haven't been back to the village since the final days, and if we're already forgetting about our old lives, I don't know. I just think Mr. Tartaru should know how we feel is all. Barsarood says that Mrs. Tartaru should be stopping by soon. When I asked how she felt about returning to Thavnair, she said she'd need time to consider. For my part, at least, I think consulting with Mrs. Tartaru will help put my mind at ease. My, what a busy counter we have tonight. Ashtad, it's good to see you out from behind your usual shipping crates. Yes, I thought I'd come and help Magina with her research. We've just returned from interviewing academics at the studium. About that, Mistress Tartaru. Suffice to say, their requirements were all radically different. I know I set a uniform for researchers and academics, but I'm afraid I may have deeply underestimated the feasibility of such a project. And that's perfectly all right. The important thing is to learn from what you discover, so that you can retain and apply that knowledge as you continue on your entrepreneurial journey. The right idea for a new product will find us when it's ready. In the meantime, I have more samples I need of delivery, and seeing as the Warrior of Light is very conveniently standing within my line of sight... 1,000 pardons, Mr. Tartaru, but before you continue, I wish to speak to you on a personal matter. You have shown us incredible charity, which makes this all the more difficult to ask, but I wonder if I should return home to Thavnair. Please do not mistake this for dissatisfaction with our agreement. If anything, I've grown so accustomed to life in Sharlayan that I fear I've begun to forget myself. My dreams, my faith, the person I used to be before I came here. Not only that, in spite of my regular remittances, I worry that our village struggles to rebuild after the final days. While I live happily removed from the burden, I ought to share more. It feels disingenuous to both my home and the many kindnesses you continue to show us. I see. And do you both feel the same? I've been so devoted to my work that I hadn't given much thought to returning until Hastad mentioned it. But to claim that I am not worried about the village would be a lie. While I am of similar mind to Magina, I must nevertheless remain here. Among other reasons, there is a project I am resolved to complete. Well, I would be very sorry to see any of you go, but if remaining here causes you grief, I will spare no effort to see you safely home. Which is why I've decided that our next set of samples shall be delivered to Palaka's stand. Furthermore, I ask that those who wish to accompany the Warrior of Light on his errand, seeing how your village fares, is no doubt the best thing for you both right now. It will help you to understand your feelings, after which we may proceed however you desire. And should your colleagues require it, I am sure you can be relied upon to dispense the perfect advice. Regina, Ashdod, give everyone my regards. Then it's settled. I'll begin preparing for the samples at once. Allow me to assist. No matter what happens, we must finish Mistress Tartaru's necklace. Are we ready to proceed with the restoration, do you think? I dare say we have enough additional materials, thanks to his dedication. As for the work itself, I thought we could entrust it to the lapidary Mistress Tartaru once apprenticed with. I'm going with option 1. My goldsmithing level is far too low. I'm glad you think so as well. Let's have the necklace Let's leave the necklace in Varsarud's capable hands and join Hashtad in Scholar's Harbor. They're easy to say, but difficult to read.
Well, I told them I wanted to, but they didn't. They said that they had somebody else that could do it.
Ah.
Anyway, whatever.
I remember when we first set foot upon these docks. After a long, exhausting journey through frozen wastes, after surviving those horrid beasts, Mr. Tartaru was a warm beacon of light. Working at the boutique has helped us to rebuild our lives, but I will never forget that feeling of powerlessness. Should I have stayed in Palakistan and tried to defend my people? Was I a coward to flee? Is it a betrayal to my home and to myself to remain here? I can't stop thinking in circles. Anyway, I'm glad for this opportunity to better understand where my heart truly is. All will be well, I'm sure, but we must be off, lest we miss our connecting flight. We're truly back in Thavnair. Was Razat Han always this grand? Can't believe we lived so close, yet rarely made the trip. You remember how it was. Village duties always kept us too busy for travel. Defending pilgrims was trying enough for the stewards, even before the final days. Wonder how many temple roads are still traversable. If even those in Razat Han struggle to travel for worship, our feelings of estrangement may be more common than we think. So we've come all this way. Would you mind terribly if Hashdad and I toured the city on our own? Let's plan to meet in Palakistan anon. Home at last. Yes, home. I could finally breathe again. Come, go and find the Elder. Elder Yaravit. Dad? Vagina? How wonderful it is to see you. I have been so worried. Tell me, how is life in Charlian? Are you being treated well? Oh, yes, Elder. Our employer, Mistress Tartaru, is the kindest of businesswomen. In fact, she arranged for us to accompany the Warrior of Light on his errand here, so we might enjoy some time at home. That is very good of her, indeed. I am relieved to hear you are being looked after. You are ever a guardian to our people. Thank you for seeing these children safely home. Now then, what is this errand you speak of? Oh, splendid. Our stewards shall put these to good use. You may be assured. If only we could repay your generosity with something even half as marvelous. Alas, ours is a village of little extravagance. Everything seems as it ever was. Indeed, with the support of the Radiant Host and the funds you and the others have sent, we have regained much of the peace we once knew. Thank the sisters. Still, there was something I wish to speak with you about, Elder. You are worried your heart grows distant from Thavnair, that you have wandered too far from home. But my child, it is only right that you should wander, that you should roll. Your heart's connection endures, no matter where you go. You yet think of us fondly enough to visit, yes? And send us what gil you can spare, do you not? Gestures, perhaps, but not true commitment. Should I not be here with all of you working to restore our village? There is no restoring our village, Hashtag. Without those we lost, Palakistan will never be what it was. We must instead do all we can to become a new village, with a new future ahead of us. although the particulars of our path are not yet clear to me. How so? Ours has always been a settlement of stewards, as well you know, tasked with the protection and preservation of Thavnair's sacred sites. But we have seen our roads shaken and our temples defiled by beasts. The material is not always within our ability to protect. What is everlasting is our faith, the bonds between our people and the divine. Through the teachings, we remind ourselves of life's meaning. Yet we wish to ensure our traditions endure for generations to come. Should we not strive to do more than maintain our temples until pilgrims deign to visit? But I do not wish to tire you. Surely there are other ways of ensuring our people remain connected to their heritage and faith. All we need is the right idea, something new our village could offer. Well, well, my words seem to have inspired you, and with the worldly insights you have gained, I am sure any future you envision for Palakistan will be nothing short of remarkable. But there is no need to rush. Take some time to speak with the others and make yourselves at home. Question mark box. How foolish I was to think the answer would be so simple. I would come home, roll up my sleeves, and help restore our village to the way it was. I would find fulfillment. Alas, not all that was lost can be reclaimed. Our people face a new struggle. But perhaps by discovering new ways for the village to fulfill its duty, we might help our community. Exactly. Like the Elder said, surely our experiences in Charlian have given us a unique perspective. Not to mention his extensive knowledge of the world. I'm sure that between the three of us, we can come up with a brilliant plan to support Palakistan. Yes, you're right. And I'm sure that hearing how everyone fares will give us insights as well. Not a soul here will forget the hero of Palakistan. I am sure everyone will be just as eager to speak with you as us. There are also others with whom I'd like to speak, once we've finished here. Of course, we mustn't forget to pay our respects. Ashdod and Magina are now accompanying you, etc., 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 the same thing the thing always says. Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice that beautiful equipment you delivered to the Elder. As a weaver who crafts armor for our stewards, I would love to hear more about its origins. Creating cooperation with guilds from across the world? Oh, I must have a closer look. The final days exposed the limitation of my skills. Traditional Thavnarian techniques alone do not suffice. I am eager to hone my craft by studying the work of foreign artisans. Although in my weaker moments I often wonder if purchasing all armor art for our stewards would be a superior solution. Alas, that would require a surplus of coin, as well as an available product. As a village sustained by donations and remittances, we would be hard-pressed to afford anything so expensive, even if such suppliers were to venture this deep into the jungle. Oh, that's a quest.
It's in the building.
Ah. Someday I will clear out these side quests. Someday.
Yeah.
Hello there. Staying for a while or just passing through? Our recovery has been slow but steady, though I am concerned for those who still struggle with wounds our healers cannot cure. The final days may have passed, but grief and trauma are not as easy to overcome, or not so easily overcome, or ever for those who must accept them as constant companions. Ours is a tightly knit community, but I worry for those in the capital and abroad. I imagine it is difficult for them to honor the old teachings as they labor far from home. So many of us fled during those dark times. If only we could bring the comforts of a community to all Hunish.
Are you guys all picking up the extra quests that they give?
I'm not.
Now, I mean, these are old quests that we've been ignoring for months.
No, each person you talk to's had a quest.
Yeah, that's what he means.
Yeah,
Huh?
I haven't noticed them having quests.
Okay. They're all what you call quests though. Trades.
Oh well, then I probably don't even have the the trade skills to even talk to them. If it isn't Hashdad and Magina, accompanied by our savior, no less. Welcome home, welcome home. True, we're a bit short-handed these days, but we manage nevertheless. While there's a happiness in being reunited with our young ones, we're just as happy knowing that you are walking your own path, no matter where it leads. I remember Hashdad couldn't wait to become a steward. But as far as I'm concerned, sending aid from afar is just as praiseworthy as tending to the temples here. Times are changing, and who is to say that this cannot be another form of stewardship? A steward who supports the village from far? I never even considered the possibility. Seeing everyone so eager to help one another makes me more determined than ever to contribute. Or anything else. Shall we go? Let's. It'll be a good visit. To Perusa, then. We ask you to accompany us. The temple roads are perilous, and your presence would be a great comfort. When I was little, we used to run through these wilds, playing steward and imagining fierce battles with hideous beasts. Got the scolding of a lifetime when our parents found out. But when it really happened, when the sky turned red and the jungles spewed forth unspeakable horrors, I could do nothing but cower. Perhaps that's why I feel so guilty for not returning, for not doing more, even if it may never be enough. This time, This time I will rise to the occasion. I never used to give much thought to those who walked these roads before me. Countless pilgrims who risked their lives for faith. Aware of the dangers ahead, they pressed on. So strong was their devotion, so sacred the tradition. 'Tis a perilous path you walk, so it is written. And so too our forebears must have felt when braving these jungles to reach what would become our beloved home.
Sorry, KJ, are you fighting what I aggroed?
I didn't even notice that the music had changed.
Yeah. I went into clicked on the chat thing, so I'm in the cutscene, but then I was like, I think KJ stopped.
It's been a while. Yes, but we made it. I'm home, Mother. Father. Here at Perusa, we may commune with the spirits of the departed. Neither Magina nor my parents survived the final days. Tell them about how you saved us, and that we're doing well. I know they will rest easier for it. May the next time we visit be to deliver glad tidings for Palakistan. Though I was relieved to find the village in a better state than I had feared, it seems there are still issues we might help address. Finding a steady source of income, for instance, so the stewards can be properly outfitted without overwhelming our weaver. I was also troubled to hear about those who continue to struggle with the support of without the support of the local community. There must be some way to provide respite. Yes, indeed. The question is what? Do you have any thoughts? I'm going with option one. Ask yourself, what would Tartaru do? Well, Mrs. Tartaru has always put a great store in by collaboration and partnerships. So what if Palakistans were to enter into a partnership, perhaps with the boutique itself? I think you're onto something. The boutique sold wares the village produced, for instance, or perhaps would have our people would have a reliable revenue stream. But what can Palakistan offer, and to whom? How about amulets and talismans, or images of the deities? Something simple, created with love from our homeland and our faith, so no one forgets or feels forgotten. I like that. Our temples were created in remembrance of our ancestors and divine teachings, but reminders needn't only take the form of great works. A small keepsake may be just what our scattered brethren need to reassure themselves that they are still members of the community. This could be the answer we are looking for. Can't wait to tell Mrs. Tartaru. Rather, I can't wait for you to tell Mistress Tartaru. It was your idea, after all. A team effort, let us say. I certainly couldn't have come up with it without you and him. If our proposal is approved, Mrs. Tartaru will no doubt need assistance in Charlian. I am ready to and willing to provide it. But what of you, Hashtag? What will you do? I too will return to the boutique. One day I will come home to stay. But for now, I wish to do all in my power to help our village thrive. I'm relieved to hear you say so. Let us go and consult with the Elder about our plan. I hear you were kind enough to escort these children to Perusa. Again, you have my gratitude. Are your feelings any clearer for it? I think so. Regina and I talked it over. We believe we have struck upon a new way the village might support our people. Tangible mementos of our faith. An interesting proposition. Many here would be glad to create such reminders. I expect those unable to perform strenuous labor would be especially grateful for our opportunity to contribute to the prosperity of the village. To say nothing of the options these additional funds. But most importantly, we would be able to help those who have chosen to live apart from us feel that much more connected to their community and their faith. I am proud of you for both discovering such an innovative way to do so. But see, it would likely mean Hashdad and I will stay in Charlian for the foreseeable future. Then take with you the knowledge that no matter where your journey takes you, our hearts will always be as one. May the sisters guide you. We'll come back again, I promise. In the meantime, we shall see our plan to fruition. I will send word once we've determined the particulars. Right then. Charlian awaits. Just realized I hadn't even tried the thing out.
Oh my gosh, I
Oh
love
gosh.
it!
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
It's too funny.
Mm-hmm. I just realized something. They've changed, or maybe this isn't a recent change, but they've changed the icon for the carbuncle on the mini-map. It's actually a very tiny carbuncle, not a dot.
Oh, maybe because it's always been like a smaller something.
Does it look like a little triangle a little bit?
It kind of like a carbuncle head to me, which is kind of like a little bunny head.
Okay.
But it's at that size. It's basically it could be a Mickey Mouse symbol for all.
True.
The necklace is back from the lapidary. He had nothing but fond memories of Mistress Tartaru and was eager to pour his everything into the restoration. The result is magnificent. The original sapphire, accented with black pearl from the ruby sea and rose shell from Werlet, united by a length of machi leather, a singular necklace symbolizing Mistress Tartaru's past and present. By the sisters, what a remarkable gift. However, it wants for a finishing touch. Preferably by your hand. And after hearing about your visit to Palaka's stand, I know just the thing. In short, we will be proposing a new line of products to help our people feel closer to their roots, yes? So in honor of Mistress Tartaru's roots, I would have you inscribe the symbol of Nadthal upon the back of the pendant. It would be my honor. My goldsmithing level isn't very high, but I could do that. Although maybe don't do it on the ground. With painstaking effort and unwavering focus, you engrave the symbol of the traders onto Tartaru's necklace. Any who behold it will surely know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that this final flourish was the product of your heroic hand. I'm sure she will adore it. Our work is officially done. I just received word from Mistress Tartaru. Should be arriving in Scholar's Harbor soon. Let's go and meet her there.
Boy, mateys, why are you working?
That's exactly what I was just thinking. I wasn't expecting a personal escort from the docks, though I dare say I could grow accustomed to it. How was your time in Palaka's stand? Did you find it worthwhile? So while they do have interest in our equipment, whatever matters of recovery are their greatest concern at present. Recovery, yes, but also growth, which may lead to a lucrative opportunity for the boutique, if you will permit me to suggest another new product. What if we offered handicrafts, designed and produced by the people of Palaka's stand, authentic works representative of Hanish culture? For those of us living abroad, reminders of home would do wonders to ease feelings of estrangement, and for others, such pieces could be appreciated as beautiful works of art. Our village is up to the task, will not be disappointed. Doubt not their conviction, Mr. Tartaru. A product that embodies Thavner's spiritual beauty to be shared with the whole world. Why the boutique should offer nothing less? Though we've made wonderful progress with our samples, I believe it's time for a change of pace. And handicrafts born from a heartfelt desire to celebrate one's culture is bound to resonate with others. Given her eagerness, I presume Magina intends to stay and help facilitate the new venture. But what about you, Hashtag? You felt the call to return to Thavnir rather more strongly? Yes, well, after talking with everyone at home, I realized that living apart from them does not mean I must forsake my childhood dreams of service. I believe I can best serve my people by staying in Charlian and continue to work at the boutique, if you'll have me. With pleasure, Astad. Mistress Tartaru, if it would not be untoward, we would like to present you with a small token of our appreciation for everything you've done for us. Not untoward at all. Rest assured that I should graciously accept all offerings of praise and adoration, especially ones as fine as this. But how queer. This sapphire looks remarkably like the one my... Is this my mother's sapphire? Hers, so now rightfully yours. Hers. It's really hers. Never in my life did I imagine I'd see this jewel again. It's part of a family heirloom. When my mother was married, she received it from her mother. How her eyes sparkled when she spoke of it one day giving it to me. I'll never forget. But when Father's business failed, we lost everything. And that was the last I saw of it. Though your heirloom did not survive in its entirety, Master Pippin managed to recover the sapphire. From there, we collected the parts from clients during sample deliveries and commissioned the necklace you now hold. Now that I think of it, he often did receive mysterious gifts on those visits, but that's what that was all about. Time after time, I am reminded that a fortune in coin promises only a fraction of what a wealth of friendship provides. When my family lost its last gil, I became a lapidary's apprentice, and that's how I met a certain miner named Menphilia. We hit it off instantly, chatting every time she brought in gems for appraisal. And then one day she came not with her usual haul, but with an invitation to join the Path of the 12. The rest, as they say, is history. Our serendipitous meeting that led to so many others, that led to so many incredible adventures. That saw a poor little girl reunited with a priceless memento. Our teachings say that there is more ugliness than beauty in the world. To live is to suffer. But we never need suffer alone. And what is more beautiful than the bonds we share with others? Indeed, it is these connections that give meaning to our lives. Connections for which I too am grateful, and thus compelled to advise that we return to the Agora. The counter remains unmanned, and we mustn't neglect our clients. Quite right, quite right. Back to work with the lot of us. We've got new products to plan. On behalf of the entire boutique, allow me to thank you for all you have done. I'm ashamed to admit that in our excitement to prepare Mistress Tartaru's surprise, Arsarud and I failed to prepare something for you. And that sounds like the cue for Mistress Tartaru. Very soon, the Warrior of Light here will no doubt embark upon another journey to corners of the world unknown, as he is wont to do. So, to wish you well in making new friends, and to remind you of those who will always hold in your hearts, I have prepared bespoke chocobo barding, crafted with love by one Tartaru Taru. I dare say the boutique will be embarking upon its own adventure in the coming days, and with true adventure invariably comes tribulation. But with your compassion, resourcefulness, and reliability, I have every confidence that we shall succeed in our respective endeavors. To ever higher returns of both coin and camaraderie. Oh, and don't think just because you're running off to the other side of the world that I don't intend to solicit your future involvement. Yeah, Tartaru, I know I cannot escape you. You will find me wherever I go. You won't escape me that easily. It's not a bad barding. Rather basic, but some of them are a little too crazy.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, not bad at all.
It wigs me out that they don't put it in alphabetical order.
I didn't even notice. It's right next to another W on my list, but it's a W that should come after it, not before it.
Yeah. Maybe it's my folly because I have a lot. Don't know.
I have quite a few of them too.
I do like how it's subtle. It's like simplistic. It's nice.
Indeed. And I was just taking a look at the MSQ stuff, seeing as how it is Saturday, and nobody needs to sleep on Saturday. But no, the MSQ would probably take at least an hour and a half to do.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll have to come back to that.
I don't see any dungeons or trials or anything, but a lot of dialogue. So
Should make us fall asleep, maybe.
also a possibility. But so yeah, probably a good time to call stream here. So just give me 1 second and I will shut stream down. Alright guys, I think that is where we are going to call it for now. And I can't guarantee that we'll be back to finish next week, but we'll be back to finish at some point in the future. So I will be back on Tuesday with more Hollow Knight. Until then, I want to thank you for joining me. I forgot my outro. Until then, I want to thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time. And have a good night.